Hello, I am Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. Welcome back to another round of street vlogging where we discuss issue concerning the homeland. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on your geographical location and your time zone. We are going to be discussing today, but before we do, remember to like, share and subscribe. And also, after come to the comment section, let us discuss more, because it's very, very important. Yes. So today we are going to be discussing about the budget, the sustainability of Anambra State budget. Can this Gov.Soludo budget perform? And issues with the budget, presentation of budgets, which people are not aware of most of those what is actually going on in the budget, because most of the thing they depend on is what the government say to them, because the governments in Nigeria generally doesn't actually bring the budget out for scrutiny and contribution of the citizens. So most of the time they just bring it out and read it, like in the Western world. Unlike in the Western world, what they do basically is that before the budget is passed, a week or two, the budget already has been, some of the key things, most of the things has been given out to the press, and the whole thing, the scrutiny will start on the budget. And even before then, you actually know where the government is going on the budget, but not in Nigeria, not in Anambra State. So, and the houses of assembly who are meant to scrutinize the budget are basically rubber stamps. They just approve budgets, put their own things there, that's it. There is no pushing on the government on some things. So now, on this Anambra budget 2026, I'm going to say what people don't normally discuss. You look at the capital expenditure of 500 and something billion for a state lacking in infrastructure. Is not huge enough if Anambra State will move to the top gear. Because why am I saying this? Is because the state need to be in a hurry to develop, having missed years of opportunities over the years to push himself up. And because the state also have abundant human resources that can actually help it to navigate a lot of things. So now, when you look at the state, one of the things the government has not done is to bridge the revenue gap. So they still on a feeding bottle economic system, whereby they depend, most of their revenue come from Abuja, which if the government was basically serious, 4 years, they would have set in motion that 99% of the budget should be sourced in-house, not depending on what they hand out from Abuja. So that's why we are talking here. So now, 4 years would have helped in upstreaming or opening up so many revenue opportunities, which I have been saying in this channel, that would have actually necessitated that the government doesn't need to depend on the money from Abuja. So the money from Abuja would have been a surplus or bonus on the budget. Let me talk about like the 500 and something capital expenditure of a budget of 700 and something billion, 751 billion altogether. You can see that in the actual sense, the government would have made revenue generation and expansion one of the key aspects of his economic drive. That within these 4 years they have been in power, not even talking about other governments that have passed, they would have actually upstream or open up revenue portfolios by many ways. But let me now look at this capital expenditure, because we discussed in some other forums and other things what the government need to do now, because the leadership is supposed to be a leadership that's supposed to take advantage of the huge human resources in the state. Out of the 36 states in Nigeria, Anambra State happened to have the number one or even the top two in human resources in the country, where you have so many people with money, so many people with endowments, both home and abroad, that you can tap in to bridge the financial gap and also to develop the state as quick as possible. Let me use what China, because China is also a role model to this. China in 2011 to 2013 has actually spent or used more cement than United States of America has used in 20th century. I don't know if you are hearing what I'm saying. Why? Because in that 2 years alone, they push for massive urbanization, urban infrastructure, massive roads, massive industrial bases, massive bridges, railway, everything was running concurrently. Can Anambra State do these things? The Anambra State can do it, but not on how the budgets are being financed or how the leadership are leading the state. So how can they do these things? The key to it is the human resources of the state, because that 500 and something billion capital expenditure can easily be times 100 if the government of Soludo can put in the thinking corner or thinking cap on how to basically mobilize, that they will see that they will need to do extra budgets, because the money will be surplus. So think about basic infrastructure like water. In a state like Anambra State, it should not be by now talking about there's no water running house to house in the cities of Anambra State. This is a great also revenue stream that the government has not even dreamed of tapping from, and also an economic way of developing the country, the state. And the roads, let me tell you, a policy on that, which I have enumerated in many times, will actually encourage bringing in finances from the landlords, investors in building most of the roads. I would have been seeing, like in Onitsha alone, 70% of the roads under construction at once. Even in agriculture, so many investments. All these villages, there must be massive activities happening there. But the cities, there must be urban growth, urban economic growth that will rival what is happening in China or happening in China. I don't know what you think about that, but we do on part 2 of this. Remember to like, comment, share. I am Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. See you in the next one, and God bless you.